Yeah, as Juan Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. We're here Tuesday, July 16, 2024. As you know, if you're a regular consumer, you know what I do every Tuesday, Top 5 Tuesday, counting down a list of top fives of something, just something that came up throughout the week, some sort of upcoming event, something that was relevant throughout the week. And last week was the premiere of yet another Tyler Perry film titled Divorce in the Black, starring Megan Good, and I watched it and it got me thinking. It's like, okay, how about I count down the my personal top 5 favorite top 5 Tyler Perry movies. And again, I get it. All right, I get it. I used to say the same thing about Tyler Perry movies when I first started watching them, seeming that they just weren't realistic, sort of low budget. You could just sort of feel it wasn't, his movies didn't seem very realistic in regards to how, you get movies that you normally go see in the movie theater. But then I grew up and I got to know his story and how he came about, from homelessness to buying his own studio and having to, go out and act and direct and write screenplay, the whole thing, and really developing an audience. And, because of that, I began to have the thought process, look, it's time for us to not criticize and be derogatory and talk shit about his movies, but more so be uplifting and say, hey, look, I respect how he was able to get it done with the limited resources that he had, and allow that to be some things that, drive us and inspire us in our own lives. That needs to be the takeaway when we're talking Tyler Perry, all right? All the other nasty shit that gets said about him in regards to his movies and stuff like that, I get it personally, because I used to kind of insinuate the same things, but as I grew up and I realized what it's like to try to do something with lack of resources and have to figure it on your own, I learned to gain a great deal of appreciation for what he's built and the entrepreneurial elements that he has opened the doors and given light to young people like myself to go out and create some of the same things in my own industry, all right? So as far as my top five favorite Tyler Perry movies, we're starting off. Number 5 is I Can Do Bad All By Myself, starring the one and only Taraji P. Henson. Talks a lot. I mean, it's just a great message. It was her, Mary J. Blige. They just the element and the concept of taking care of your nieces and nephews when you least expect it. That was something that really resonated and hit home with me, seeing that I am an uncle and I do have. I'm very proud of the niece and the young women and the young woman and the young man that my niece and nephew are becoming. Incredibly grateful, incredibly proud of not only them but my sister, and to know, one day, hey, you never know, it may be my responsibility to take care of them or put them on the right path or whatever it is. So that movie in itself was very inspiring. Taught me to stay ready, stay out of the bullshit as the uncle, right? Number 4. And number 3, I'll do number 4 and number 3 together because it's kind of 3A, it's kind of 3A and 3B, but the 2, why did I get married? One was why did I get married? The other one was why did I get married too? Both of them, I put them kind of on the same pedestal because, again, a person who aspires to be married. Again, I don't aspire. I don't want to have a girlfriend. I don't want to shack up with someone. I want to be married. I want to live in a house with this woman that we own and then start a family in that order. So learning that and seeing how when people try to shack up or they try to make little things work and try to, make little arrangements and try to do things not in the godly way, that movie, the mess that all those marriages were turning into, the warning that he created in those 2 movies, I thought was incredible in terms of the message, in terms of what we should be taking away from it, all right? Now, for my top 2 is... Number 2 is Single Moms Club. There's a person that's a football guy, former football coach, scout, trainer, in the fitness and athletics. I've run across a lot of single moms, and the Single Mom Club was an incredibly kind of, I want to say triggering movie, but more so about the people that I look to serve, the tribe that really tunes in a lot to my work and what it is I do, regards to who I help and things like that. That movie, The Single Moms Club, was a great story. And, a lot of people, I know so many of those types of characters in my own personal life. So that's coming in number 2. And number 1, Temptation. Temptation was just great. Absolutely great. Aside from Jurnee Smollett being fine as hell, but the story in itself, you had, Jurnee Smollett, who grew up in a small town and married the husband, but then the husband stopped, paying attention to her. He just stopped giving a shit. And then she had no choice but to pay attention or to be considering the guy who's, you know, making millions of dollars, creating a business for it, doing all these great things. I don't fault her for making that decision at all. I think it started up some great conversations in regards to women and how quickly you decide to pursue a certain one or move on from a certain person. There's so many lessons and so many conversations that movie Temptation started for me in my own personal life, especially when I was probably around mid to early 20s when I actually watched that movie. And it actually did change my outlook on dating, change my outlook on who was I, you know, going to be pursuing and what kind of conversations, again, I was going to be having. Who was I going to be in a young lady's life? Am I going to be that rich guy that comes in, Glastonbury guy that has all this money with this, you know, great internet entrepreneur? Or am I going to be that one that's anchoring a woman and not even paying attention to her birthday and all that kind of shit? You know, am I going to be that person? That is, you know, that was a very eye-opening story for me in the, especially being the young man that I was when I watched it. Still a young man, but, you know, a little older than I was when I watched it. All right. So as far as top five Tuesdays, just to recap, counting down my personal favorite top 5 Tyler Perry movies. Coming in at number 5, we have I Can Do Bad All By Myself. Coming in at 3 and 4 and 3, however you want to put it. The Why Did I Get Married 1 and Why Did I Get Married 2. Coming in at number 2, The Single Moms Club. And coming in at number 1, Temptation. All right. All that being said, main website to dive into, main website to check out to dive deeper into all my work. It's makeyourmove.com. That's makeyaMove.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. As one, Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.